Oh my God, we made it. Carly, thank
Hello.
you so much for being here on Spark
Cheers.
TV. Cheers. Yes. Just the thing, we should just like set a warning to everyone that this, we've both had a long day. We've
Must
got
have wine to enter this process. Yeah.
That's right. You have to get on our level today. So let's start out by sharing how you got here. So I love to give people a bit of context in terms of, have you always run businesses? Did you have a career first? How did you actually get to Lime Intelligence?
Okay. No, look, thank you so much for inviting me to be here, Danny. I really appreciate it. And I admire you and everything you do as well. So it feels like an honor to get to have a wine with the fabulous Danny.
I'm so
thank
happy.
you. Look, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I won't do the War and Peace version, but I started my first business when I was 7.
What? Really?
I don't know why. I just had this thing, and I made cards, and I was an avid sewer. My mum enrolled me in a course called a nitwit, so I was an official nitwit for a while.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
So the business was called Hot Radical Designs, and so I just made, I think, at least $30 or $40 from my family. It was a big push. And then after that, went, put that on hold for a while, and went and did the uni and corporate thing. And I think that was a really good experience, actually, just to kind of get those foundations. And I worked out what is good about corporate and things that I didn't like as well.
What did you study?
I studied at QUT. I wanted to be the next Steven Spielberg when I was at school, but didn't get the right grades. So I went on to do marketing because I thought, well, that sounds fun and creative. And then I went on to work at Tourism Queensland, and it was weird that everything I wanted and planned to do went completely out the window. And I started in market research and in aviation. So I became an aerosexual. So.
Yes. I need to put a rating on this episode.
I'll keep it PG. It's all right. But I started working there in aviation, doing commercial airline development for the state government. And I really loved that. I had an excellent mentor at the time who was super passionate about the industry, and it just sucked me straight in. And then after doing that for a while, I went for my first corporate job down at Gold Coast Airport as their manager of business development and marketing. And I ended up being there for 8 years and sort of going up through the ranks, ended up being on the executive committee there, which was an amazing experience, lots of travel. I think my record was I was away for 3 months out of the year when I added all the nights. Just I'd go away, come back, and it all seemed very glamorous, but it was quite exhausting.
Yes.
And then decided,
what different times we live in.
I know. And then decided to get married and have babies, and that didn't really go with traveling. And then I got divorced, and then I got remarried. So anyway, that was fun. Yep. Midlife crisis at 30.
Oh my gosh. I can imagine that in and of itself, going through that was interesting.
Oh yeah, it was. And I think, the good thing about it was that it made me go, okay, it's time to get on the entrepreneurial journey again. I did get a lot of, there was a lot of frustrations in corporate. While I loved, learning from the people around me, it was kind of well, I'd go to do something, and then it was no, we're not quite ready for that yet. Or, hey, why don't we do this idea? And it's no, I think you're a bit ahead of yourself there. I think you just need to calm down, and this is what we need to do.
Can you not dream big, please?
Yeah, just calm down. And that was quite frustrating, and just wanted to kind of be able to experiment a bit more. So I started doing consulting work, doing a similar kind of thing, which was a good bridge. And I think that's where Lime Intelligence was born, because working with airports, and having those airport customers, I'd made a lot of contacts in that time at Queensland airports, which was great for personal brand exposure. And so a lot of people were oh, cool, now you're working for yourself. Can you come and do my route development? We've been really successful at Gold Coast, getting in the first ever long haul flights from Asia, and launching Jetstar and things like that. So all of those things were great to get my business going. You can sort of have past wins to give you that case study to go, hey, you can trust me. I've done this before, but now I'm just doing it for myself. And yeah, I think what we noticed is that everywhere they wanted to know, well, how do I talk to an airline? How do I get started? Like the whole point of those roles is to get more flights in. So how do I go about that? And it all just comes back to data. And so a lot of people that work for the airports, like they didn't have access to the information. They had Excel spreadsheets everywhere. You know, they didn't know where they were going to get that information from. And so that was a challenge for them and so that's where we're like, well, there's got to be a better way, you know. We really can do business intelligence better. Like airports are so focused on operations and on safety, which is good, and security,
yes,
and that sort of
we
thing.
want that. Yes, good.
You want that, yes. But when it comes to commercial, they're particularly 10 years ago, they're like, oh, okay, that's an afterthought. We don't want to spend money on marketing and budget on data. So we built some Excel spreadsheets, and then we're like, okay, God, this is crap. We really can come up with a better way. And so Lime was born. And my now husband, who used to work at the airport and then worked at an airline, I slowly dragged him out of corporate to come and work with me. And yeah, he went, which was great. And so now we started the business together, and it's been an amazing journey. But it all started in that, I guess, airport space. And Lime was an airport business up until recently.
Wow, that's incredible. And I love how you used your skill set that you had going through corporate and used that to drive the business. I mean, I think it's interesting. People are like, what do I do? I want to start a business. What do I do? And then they're kind of trying to think of something that they have no experience in. But it's like you already innately have so many skills that you've built up over time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, when you've got a network, it's like that concept of a bridge.
Yes, I love that you said you went into consulting first. That's cool.
Yeah, because it gave me, it was like a soft start just to test things out too, and find out, well, when you're not working for one particular organization, what was amazing is it kind of opened the floodgates for, oh, hi, what have you been doing there? Now I can talk to you. You're not sort of bound by confidentiality where you are. Can you apply some of those skills and help me do that? I know I couldn't ask you before because you had a job, but now can I pay you to help me do this? Yes. So it was actually really great to get that start. And it just, all the frustrations that our customers had just came to the surface, and that sort of born the, was where the idea was born for Lime, because it was just so obvious when similar pain points just kept coming up and coming up. So and I wanted to make my life easy. I'm like, I need to put this data into, some sort of centralized warehouse so that it doesn't take me days and days just to find the information before I even get to work out the so what part of the business case. So that I would recommend that as a way of starting if you are unsure, like, your core skill set that you've grown up with. Generally, there's so many applications for it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I love the talking to people and listening to their problems and creating a solution that solves it. It sounds so basic, but I feel like people miss talking to their potential customers first sometimes.
Yeah. And look, what I have learned, I mean, and I know that it's sort of like, building up the where we've been, but one big takeaway I have learned when we started business was I used to think that you had to be a particular type, and this comes back to sometimes, as women, we're like, oh, okay, we always doubt ourselves, whereas guys just go, oh, fuck it, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, sorry.
Oh yeah, we have wine, of course you're allowed to swear.
Okay, it's my favorite word. It's cheaper than therapy. But yeah, I think you don't, I soon realized, even when I was in corporate life, that I originally, when you leave uni, think, oh, you have to have this secret recipe, and you have to have got so many runs on the board, you have to have 10 years badge on your shoulder before you can go and start your own business. But absolutely not. Like, it's just, honestly, I think the biggest difference is just the will and that sort of stomach for just taking a leap. You got to have the stomach for it. And I think it's just about trying something, and then an action, that constant action. That's the difference, I think, between people that have great ideas and those that actually have a business.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could not agree with you more. I just chatted with someone And even applying that to a marketing lens, like some people think that there's just going to be this one thing that they do that's going to change the world. But I love that you said that, because that's exactly it. It's just the consistent take action, like over and over again. There's not like one tiny breakthrough moment that kind of happens.
No, it was like there's no like bird that lands on a post next to you and gives you a wink and you go, oh right, this is the right time. You know?
I wish there was.
I'm like looking for a sign.
Yeah.
I just think it's just getting on with it.
Yeah.
And we started like slowly, and when you build momentum and you experiment, you know, I think that you don't have to get it right from the get-go. And I remember going to a few really good presentations for other business women, and they were like, well, just don't let perfection get in the way of getting started. Like, doesn't all the ducks don't have to be lined up in a row. Someone said to me, you know, when all the ducks are lined up, what happens? They get shot, you know. I'm like, okay.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Right.
That turned very quickly.
I'm from Queensland, you know. I'm a farm girl. But I think you don't have to wait for perfection just to get started and get the wheels moving. And not everything works, but and everyone always says don't be afraid of failure, which is true. And I was like, well, I don't want to fail, and I don't think our business has failed, but we've had failures within the business on certain projects, and you learn from that. So when someone said to me, oh, don't be afraid of failure, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, do I have to like completely fall in a gutter and then I go, okay, I've had my failure and now I can work on? It's like, no, there's different levels. You know, you can fail at a few things, learn from those, and still keep pushing forward. You don't have to sort of wait for this big aha moment where things go to absolute crap and then you start again. Like, because I think some people always think, oh, I haven't had my failure, and you're just waiting like there's this demon that's coming. But I just think that's complete crap, and that, you know, you might just have little failures and you learn from them.
Yeah. And I mean, even the word fail is so aggressive. It's like you're going to try a lot of shit that doesn't work. And you know, and if you do fall in a heap, oh my God, well, that email didn't work. That was a failure. It's like, it was an email. Get over yourself. Just learn from it and try again, you know?
Yeah.
But I think
it's that self-doubt. I think you like, you know, come back to the earlier point, there's not really any moment where you just know, okay, now's the right time. I think you just have to get started and not be afraid that little things might go wrong here and there, and you just keep pushing forward. And we've had that in our business big time, you know, in the last couple of years. Like, COVID was a shocker for a lot of businesses, but we were an aviation business.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's insane.
We just got some momentum, you know. We were like at year 5 going, oh, this is great. You know, like, we've got 18 airports. We're doing a lot of consulting work. You know, our revenue had doubled, and we were like, okay, this is great. Now we can employ someone. We got an office. We fitted out the office, and we're like, oh, we've made it now. I have a pot plant. This is very exciting.
Love that.
And then COVID came, and then we started getting the calls from airports, because we're a subscription-based model. Airports pay a license fee to access the product, and then we set them up, and then they go an ongoing subscription. And they're like, oh, we're going to have to cancel our subscription. We've been told to cut all spending. And I'm like, but you're going to need to track your recovery. And they're like, oh, yes, but we've been told to cut everything. So 70% of our revenue was like looking at like going overnight. Wow. And we absolutely, you know, freaked out. And there was a lot of tears, a lot of wine.
Yes. It's helpful. It's helpful on so many levels. Yes.
We just had like that moment. We're like, okay, so we need to like put our big girl pants on here and work out what are we actually going to do. And we're not going to take this lying down. And I think if you're born with that inner fight, that helps a lot. You're passionate about what you do. And I think, you know, for us, we're like, okay, let's just tell everyone that don't cancel your subscription. Just don't pay us for 4 months. We'll keep doing the work for free. And that way it's way harder to win a new customer than it is to keep an existing customer, as we all know.
I love it.
And so let's just keep them by looking after them. We'll step up our service, but we won't charge. And that will end up being the best strategy that we did, because we only lost 1 airport in that whole entire time. Wow. And we really leaned in, and we did blogs, we did like video interviews that we could share. So because everyone was like feeling pretty depressed. Everyone was scared about losing their jobs. You know, it
Yeah.
was a pretty rough time.
Yeah.
And now we've got really loyal customers, like to the point where, you know, they send us gifts for Christmas because they really appreciate it. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
that is so
fuzzy
amazing.
feelings.
Yes. Oh my God. And I love that so much as well, because it is so true. Like you've hit the nail on the head there with retaining customers. So there's like some stat, I think it's like it costs you 5 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. And I feel like a lot of people get obsessed with the got to get new people, got to get new money in the door, got to get new revenue, that they kind of like forget about their existing customers.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
they kind of pop them on whatever they need to go on and then just let them sit until there is a problem. So consciously focusing in on your existing customers, I think, is a friggin' great lesson.
Yeah, we call it Lime Love. We send out Lime Love packages. We did, you know, and to the point where we felt like psychologists for a while, because
but you have to be sometimes.
Some people were really struggling. And yeah, but it was a nice feeling to have that purpose too, because in a time of crisis, you can get the wobbles and go into paralysis. And I could see that we could have gone down that path, and plenty of other people around us did, where they're like, okay, I'm just going to go into the trenches and I'm just going to wait and it's going to get better. But I think, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you like action and you want to be doing things and feel like you're waking up every day with purpose. So we're like, okay, right, this is our new purpose. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make everyone know that there's a silver lining. We're going to be that positive ray of sunshine.
Yes. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it worked out really well. And, you know, at that time too, we're like, okay, so we can love the airports up, but it's not going to pay the bills. So that's great. What are we going to do next? And we decided to do like to diversify, do the pivot. Everyone's like, I hate that word, but I'm like, but it's a good word. It
really describes what you're doing. Yeah.
You know, come on, let's not get hung up on a word. Okay. And that worked out to be really great. And again, we went out to our contacts first and said to them, you know, hey, we've got this BI platform, we've got this whole framework. We think it will work for other industries outside of aviation. Would you be willing to experiment with us first? We'll do it for this price, and you be able to crash test dummy. And when we did that, we realized there was actually more appetite from non-aviation businesses for the BI side of things and dashboards and having access to your numbers. And there are so many SMEs out there that are like, well, I can't afford a tech person. I can't afford a BI developer. They're expensive. But if I could outsource it to you, could you help me? I'm like, yeah, let's give you total visibility over your business. And they're like, well, this could work. And so that's just taken off. And that's just so exciting for us. Like, we were goaling here and now we're goaling up here. Like, we kind of like, oh, we could be bigger than what we thought we could, you know, and let's give it a go. Why not? Fuck it. Let's do it.
Oh my God, that is awesome. That is, because you know what? It was really interesting. I kind of felt the same about COVID. Like, you would look around and there were people who were just hibernating, who were just got totally like, no, we're gonna close up shop, we're just gonna ride it out. And the unfortunate thing about that was some of them did that for too long, and then there were others that were just like, what are we going to do? Like, let's just come up with crazy ideas. I'm pretty sure I remember in Brisbane, I drove through and got a drive-through lasagna from someone. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
that's the best.
It was so cool though. Like, and you know, at that time too, when you were like, this is the best thing that's happened to me all week.
I'm in my Ugg boots and I'm getting lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can this be a regular thing? Does this just have to be through COVID? But it was like those ideas, like, it really separated people. I think, you know, people either went into their shell or went into like crazy creative mode. And I think it really paid off for people as well, which is so good.
Definitely. Well, we've gone from a team of 3 to a team of 12 in 2 years over COVID, when we should be dead because we were in aviation. We've kept all of our airport customers. We've created new revenue streams for them, like worked out, well, what do you guys need? Because we did all those lean-in sessions, we just got all these ideas, and we just like made sure we wrote all those ideas down, and now we're giving back to them the things that they want, and we talk to the airlines and they're like, well, I wish the airports were doing this now. Things have changed. And it was like, okay, well, we can help with that.
Cool.
And which has been really cool. So it's kind of, COVID is the best thing to have happened to us, which sounds ridiculous, but
no,
in the
awesome.
end, it just gave us that kick up the arse to go, I know we're thinking about other industries, but now we have to do it out of survival.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we did. Like, we've like tripled our revenue, like we've tripled our costs as well, because we've invested in people.
Yeah.
But I think we've set ourselves up now for scale. So we have, like I said before, like our vision is much greater. Now we just want to disrupt the way SMEs do business intelligence all around the world,
Yeah, that is so cool. So talk to me about the team. So it's no easy feat going from 3 to 12.
No.
Lots of stuff that come with that. How have you found going from, employee to employer?
That's probably our biggest challenge is like, and when we're in a tech company essentially, and it's hard to keep people. We've had a few turnover of staff, which we weren't, expecting. So
you never do, do you?
And we now have, I think we have a really good core base. What we did realize is that you need to pay people well. And this is a great tip that my mentor gave me. And that's the other key thing. We wouldn't have got through COVID if we didn't have like a mentor business coaching group. Like, I was part of the Spark group, like all of that continuous content, people who are like-minded. It is very true that, you become the sum of the people around you that you hang out with. So put yourself in the pool that you want to be in, not necessarily the one you don't want to be in.
Yes.
And my coach said to me, you know what, like, we were looking at employing someone who's like $170,000. I'm like, holy shit, like that's more than we pay ourselves. Like, oh my God.
Yes.
And he's like, well, you're renting that person. If you have the pipeline of stuff coming in, you're not giving them $170,000 here in a bucket. You are renting that person for an amount every month. The first month might be tough, but every month after that, you should be creating billables that can pay for that person. I was like, oh, it's this complete mind shift for me. Then I was like, oh, well, let's go to town. Let's go and get 5.
Yeah, totally. Get an army working for us.
Come on.
Yeah.
So that was quite a good mind, and everything's mindset with business ownership. Let's face it, like you just got to keep on working on this, otherwise you won't have the stomach for it. But I think the resourcing side is definitely a challenge, and even just recently we changed the way we think about this, because tech people are so hard to get. We're like, okay, we're going to do a mix of contracting, we're going to do a mix of like graduates coming up through, and just kind of look at our team almost like our customers, where we have a pipeline, look at how do we build people through, how do we limify them by getting them in early, have that mix of gray hair up and comers. And that's kind of worked really well. So we've got a few like really good loyal team members now, and treat them bloody well. Like, I love Richard Branson's, treat your team the same way you treat your customers. And we do that. When we onboard someone, we send them a Lime Love pack. We send them like collateral, we send them a gift, we find out, we do an onboarding. So what favorite drink do you like? What music do you like? If you had a day off, what would you do? So, we've got that insight into who they are as a person, and we call it the Lime family. And it seems to be working, because I get that feedback from our team. They're like, what's your favorite thing about working at Lime? Well, we just love the culture. We like the atmosphere of feeling like, we're all part of the bigger vision. And and I know a lot of people talk about that, but I think we're trying to walk the talk as much as possible. And it's just treating a team like you would your customers, I think.
Yeah, but it's also, I think, being intentional about that. I think it's really, you think about an employee as a person that's supposed to do a job sometimes, and you kind of forget about the human side. And I think you you know, someone once said to me that culture's never done, it's never fixed.
No,
It's always
yeah,
something
absolutely.
that you continuously have to invest in.
Yeah.
And it is all of those little things. I love the survey. That is so cool. You know, it's those little things where you go, and as a business owner, you need the data as well. You actually
Yeah.
need the spreadsheet that says these
Yes.
are all the things these people like. This is when their
Yeah.
birthday is. This is when it's, because it's never going to stay in your head. I don't care how, you know,
No.
intelligent you are, empathic you are, whatever. You need that in a spreadsheet. But
And
if
as
you
you grow a team, how are you going to remember, you know, like,
yeah,
and
I
let and
can't
get
remember what
someone to
I ate for
help you.
breakfast. Yeah.
Well, I've got a great person who's worked with me now, our marketing person, and like her role is to help support me. And I don't want to be, and I'm not like sorry about like getting her to assist me in the things that I can do better. Like actually going down. I remember you saying to me once, you have like a list of these are my empire things and these are my things I could give away. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. So I took that and I used that, and I
Oh,
like,
I'm so glad.
these are my things I can pass on to the next person, because
Yes.
what am I paying? What do I want to be paid per hour? And is
Yeah.
that coffee with that person, or is going to get the coffee for the office, is that worth what I would pay myself per hour, or should I get that to someone else to do? And that concept of outsource, like I guess outsourcing or delegating as much as possible, where you're not really refining your time and thinking about what your hourly rate is, makes you kind of question, I don't know, if it's like a coffee with someone that you're not sure if it's going to, like, it's someone that's just going to kick tires or whatever. You're like, oh, actually, let's just do a 15-minute, you know, Teams call. And it sounds brutal, but time is so precious, and it's the only thing you can't really muck around with. So why don't you try and think about everything like that, and you know, delegate where you can.
Yeah, and that's such a good lesson from almost going from founder of the business to CEO of the business. You know, as the founder, you have to do everything, right? Like you're the one-man show,
get your
right?
hands
And
dirty.
exactly. But as you move more into that sort of CEO role, you really do have to be protective of your time and understand where you add value, because, you know, you also need a life. You know, you've got a family, you've got outside interests. There's a little bit of self-care that has to happen at some point.
Hell yeah.
You know, you kind of have to, if you don't learn to delegate and outsource and the right things to do as well, so you're not sacrificing quality or whatever, I think you can get in a little bit of trouble if you're not thinking that way.
Yeah, and you know, I do think as we've grown our team, the importance of that onboarding phase has become more, like I've become a lot more aware of that, like making sure that you have your processes, and like how do you onboard people. So what we started doing more recently is we do a 15-minute chat with someone who's just started the business with every other team member, and that team member gets to say what they do, and you know, and like share, because everyone loves talking about themselves. So clearly I'm just talking about myself all the time right now.
I love it. Do it. I'm literally got a post-it note and a pen and I'm like taking notes. So good.
Yeah, and that works really well, because like everyone gets a little buzz out of it, and they get to sort of form a little bit of a rapport as well while they're going through that process. And then it's a way of like not me having to sit there for 2 days, like talking to someone in our team and telling them everything about the business. They get the perspective of everybody else. So we might do some longer sessions with people if they're relevant, like they're part of the digital team or the marketing team, for example. But I think that getting to meet everybody and just having that little one-on-one time, even if it's like 15, 20 minutes, like we have a rule, we try not to make any meeting more than 30 minutes. If we can't get shit done in 30 minutes, then we're like wasting people's time. Get efficient, people.
That is so good. I love that, like connecting people with other people in the business though. I remember that was actually the best thing that we ever did at Scrunch for our engineering. So we made our engineers sit with the campaign managers to actually run a campaign. And they would say like, why are you doing that? And the campaign managers would be like, because that's what you built. That's how you built it. And they were like, oh, we can do that so much better. But it's because they didn't understand intimately what the job was that they were building. Then they just built it whatever they thought. But once they actually actually viscerally felt the problem, they like things got so much more efficient. It was so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it comes down to why you're doing what you're doing. Like if you don't share that, and we had like Joe Burgess actually, who we got her to come out for a day. Yeah, she's great, and she's a SaaS founder, and we got her to come out, and we had like a day with our team, and we focused the whole day on our why. Why do we do what we do? Why do we get out of bed in the morning and do this? And it was so funny. Some of our like tech guys were like, well, like, why are we doing this? Let's just get on with the shit. Like we've got to, like, how are we going to make the product better? What about the code? And what about this? And we're like, no, we're all doing this together, even the digital team. And we're going to sit back and look at what is our why. And we watched the Simon Sinek video. We did the whole works, and it was so good, because now even like some of our BI developers are like, and data engineers like, oh yeah, so this could be really beneficial for the customer. It just flipped their perspective. And I agree. I reckon it increases efficiencies, and it makes them understand, well, what's the end game? Why do we have customers, and why is this important, and why should I get this done straight away, and how does this impact on the business? And I wonder about what that's going to be like when we're bigger, because our vision is to like triple our team. So how do we nurture that nice sort of intimacy and collaboration that we've got right now when we get bigger? But well, I'm sure we'll be right. We'll just keep on our toes, which is the only way to do it. Keep experimenting.
Yeah, totally. Keep experimenting, and keep, I think, making it a priority. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, is if you don't keep it a priority, you don't focus on it, it just doesn't happen, right? Like, so many things are on the to-do list. If there's not a couple of like your top priorities always there, then it's so easy for a week to pass, a month to pass, and I didn't do that, and and
that's where having like that group of people around you, and I do recommend being part of a business coaching group, or like having other people that you keep accountable with, because one of the things that we have been taught in this group is that you can have like a 5-year plan or a 1-year plan, but keep it really high level. Don't go write a 50-page business plan, because that never ever gets looked at again, and you will spend so much time on it.
It's like a 30-minute meeting. If you can't put it on a single page, it's irrelevant.
Exactly. Like people scroll through like football fields of shit in a few hours. Like no one's going to sit there and read a 50-page document. So have a few key points, and like play a game of quarters. That's what we talk about a lot. Like, what's our next quarter going to look like? Yes, we have a longer term vision, but what's the quarter going to look like, and what's the next month look like? And we kind of keep that rotating, and we don't get hung up on, oh crap, we didn't tick everything off our list, because that's bloody debilitating, and it just affects your attitude so much. So if we've got most of the things done, well, that's great. Well, let's look at what's the next quarter and what's the next quarter. And I think having the long-term vision, but the game of quarters, it just has kind of helped keep us agile and flexible. And I don't feel like I'm locked in any chains, and I don't get depressed if I don't achieve everything that we were going to do, because there's always a reason why, because a new opportunity came up, and we were like, well, let's grab that, because I don't feel like I need to tick everything off my spreadsheet. So it's okay. So I think that's been a really valuable lesson for us as well, and helped us adapt and change over this last 2 years.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. It's so easy to like wake up in the morning and be like, I have no idea how I'm going to make $1 million. But if you get up and go, the only thing I have to do today is sell one thing, then you're on your way to making the $1 million, well, whatever it is your big grand vision is, when you break it down. And I love that, the game of quarters. That's so good. Because I also think too, even if you focus to micro, and you don't achieve the micro, it's easy to go, oh, I didn't do it. Versus, okay, a quarter, I can really implement a new strategy. I can see if that's working. I can optimize it. I can test it and align to the vision. Like, it's a good amount of time to actually achieve something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then celebrate the wins too. The other thing we've done is implemented a monthly morning tea, where we like, I love food, so we like have our favorite little bakery, and we like get all these goodies. It's just an excuse for the business to buy me morning tea, really.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I'm in.
And so we get our morning team, we sit around and we do, well, what's been our wins for last month as a team? And let's do a shout out to everyone, goes around, has an opportunity to go, or I want to say, well done, Michaeli, for doing this, or well done, Levi, for doing this, or, you know, and it's really nice to get that peer support and people think about it in the lead up and they're like, oh, you know, what have been our wins? And when you sit back and look at, because we're rapidly changing all the time, how much we're actually achieving in a win in a month, you know, let alone a quarter, it's like pretty impressive. And so it's good to kind of go, oh, hey guys, you know, this is awesome, because you have this tendency where you're like, okay, did that, tick, next, tick, next, and you don't stop and go, oh, I'm going to give myself a high five for that effort. You know?
Totally. A pat on the back, a bottle of champagne, anything, please. And I think too, like, it's easy as entrepreneurs to keep up with that level of hustle, but I don't think teams play at that level. You know, I think you've kind of raised something really important when you do have a team, is that you need to be cognizant of the fact that they probably don't think how you think. You know, they kind of think in their sphere of influence versus your sphere of influence. So actually making sure that they feel successful in their sphere of influence is so important.
Yeah, and I think sharing that too just creates those little connection fibers between the team. Yeah,
absolutely. So do you have any downtime?
Yes, we play hard, but we work hard, but we play hard too. So I have to say, we do have a lot of holidays every year because we've got 4 kids between us, being the Brady Bunch blended family. So we love our camping, and we have our new camper trailer arrives in a week, which is like a weapon.
Oh my God, that's so fun.
Super excited. And we just go off road, no phone reception. I get dirty. There's red dirt everywhere. But this new camper trailer is going to make it a little bit more luxe. But that's our reward for ourselves for getting this far. But yeah, we do take time off grid, and we sort of do some holidays with the kids, and we say to them, we kind of involve in the business and say, well, you're a line family member too. So when we're working hard during the week, the benefit for you is that we get to do these holidays, and we probably have like 6 to 7 weeks holiday a year with kids. Like we'll just go school holidays and just have that downtime. And we're, you know, that's our flexibility, I guess. We work pretty hard during the week, you know, no doubt about it. Sometimes when I was starting, I'm like, am I working hard enough? You know, people say, are you working hard? I'm like, I don't know. It's like 10 hours a day.
What's
like,
the benchmark?
What is working hard?
Yeah, it's so true. I know. But it's so easy to say, well, the reason I haven't achieved my goals yet is because I'm not working hard enough. It's like, well, no, I don't know if that is the reason.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, it's
usually delegated enough.
Totally. It's usually not how many hours you're putting in that equates to success.
Yeah, and you know, like I get good at monitoring. I feel I've spent a lot of time working on personal development in the last, well, particularly 2 years, part of the whole business coaching thing. And I feel like I know when my bucket's getting full, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can sense this now. I'm going to go and have a float at City Cave on the weekend or something.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, just things that zone out. And I've even said to my husband, because we work together, I'm like, you know, sometimes I just need a bit of time out where I like to pot around the house and do the washing or read a book or have my cup of tea in bed in the morning. Like I try and do a mix of regular little things, and then we do the big holidays as well. So yeah, that's kind of the balance. But you just kind of know, like you get used to feeling, oh, okay, I'm gonna like freak out if I don't. Like you can sense yourself snapping and getting cranky, and often it's one of the kids like, are you all right? Are you getting your period or something, Mum? I'm like, oh my God.
It's so funny because I'm like right at that point, and we're going away in a week, and I'm like, you just have to last one more week.
Yeah,
and then you can just chill. Yeah. My partner's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, it's not okay, but it'll be okay in a week when I'm on a plane. So let's just ride this out.
Oh, it's so true. And you just got to go and do your little thing, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And one of our coaches says to us, well, you need to exercise, just do something every day. Like it might be 10 minutes of stretching in the morning, or a walk, or just kind of monitor when you do stuff, what makes you feel good, and then do a
Yes.
little bit more of that. You don't have to do half an hour of exercise every day if you can't. Like, I know I need that to keep my adrenaline down, but I just kind of, something is better than nothing. So some days I might do 5 minutes of stretches and I'm like, that's okay. Or I might spend an extra bit of time reading another chapter of a book with my son when we're in bed at night, and that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside, and like I'm
Mm.
still being a good parent, like and entrepreneur all in one.
But it's so interesting because I feel like it goes like completely the other way. Like we go, are you looking after yourself enough? And then there's I feel like I'm failing as an entrepreneur because I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. and doing journaling and exercising and this and that and that. So obviously I'm not doing it right. So I actually love that you're like, no, just if you do a little bit of something every day for yourself that zens you back out. But also I like that you said, figure out what it is for you. Because it's exactly for me, because I sit all day, like I just sit here and talk to people on the internet all day. It's walking. It's literally just walking. Like I can just walk to get groceries, for dinner, get back, and by the time I'm back 30 minutes later, 20 minutes later, whatever it is, I just have relaxed, I've moved and my mind is clear and I can do the thing. So I try and actually do it in the middle of the day so that it's it's kind of my forced break. So it's like, sometimes you're like, I don't want to take lunch, or you eat lunch at your desk or whatever. And I'm like, no, if I get up and do that, I've zenned myself out for the afternoon. So
you don't need lots of time. I think that's one of the misconceptions. And then we just put more pressure on ourselves because we're not doing yoga on the beach. Like, seriously, like who does that?
More wine. That's the real answer.
More wine, absolutely. 100%. I have to just walk a little bit further so I can have that extra glass of wine.
I know. I'm not going to lie. The old age gets you, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh. Hell yes. Yes. This old body ain't what she used to be, but that's okay.
That's right. We've still got it. Okay. So let's wrap with any last imparting wisdom that you might have. So we have plenty of people that dial in who are corporate escapees, who are either just wanting to take the leap and start something for themselves, or have just started and are kind of freaking out as to what they've done. Is there any kind of, I guess, advice you might have wished somebody told you or would impart to your previous self?
Oh, I think honestly, I really wish at the beginning, I just wish someone had said to me, the key thing that don't worry about perfection, just get started on something. There's no secret recipe, and there's not this like secret club of people who are just friggin' amazing and that, you can't be part of. Everyone can be part of that club if they just do something, just get active and do something. And like if you don't want to start a business, you could buy one. Like, and you can buy businesses without going and like having $1 million. You could go and say, oh, well, up to the owner, find a motivated seller. Like, this is the ideal time to do it in COVID land. Like, there's so many people who are retiring that just are closing down businesses, and like go and say, well, what if no money down? What if you vendor finance? Like, there's other ways of, like, you don't have to have cash to start, like I used to think, oh, I need to save up lots of money to be able to have that capital to invest. Like when we first started, we did a deal with our developers at the time that we'd pay them off over time and give them a bonus on top. Like you don't have to, like, I just wish that someone had said to me, you don't need to have all your ducks lined up, I will get shot.
That's all. You're the only person out of 100 people that I've talked to that has said that. That is so cool, because I feel like I've spoken to a lot of people who've said, I don't have enough money. Like I want to do a tech thing, but I've got to raise capital, or I've got to save up, or developers are too expensive or whatever. That's so smart about find someone, even if it's not like the perfect vision that you've got for the business you want, but they've kind of built the foundations to kind of kickstart you. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, and just like be brave enough to go, oh, I'm just going to start with a customer and get their testimonial. The power of testimonials has been incredible for us.
Yeah.
Just sort of having that word of mouth and referrals, and don't be afraid to give away a bit of cash for the longer term goal too. Like, oh, well, if you refer us to somebody, we will share in that profit. And partnerships. Wow, I never realized how powerful partnerships are until getting going in this gig, like from a brand leveraging point of view, from a introductions to other potential customers point of view, from even knowledge, like, oh, I'm really good at this particular thing, well, let's work together. I'm good at this thing. There's not like a set mold. It's really like experimental. So just give it a go, and you can start slow without thinking, freaking hell, I'm going to lose my house and I have to mortgage the house to do this. Just get going.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. Carly, you are absolutely incredible.
Oh,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you for coming on Spark TV and spending your time with us. I appreciate you. You're incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Right back at you, babe.